the workshop.
Sorry, forgot to record.
It's
Could
all
you
right.
repeat that question?
Yeah, just I'm curious as to, at this point, we've got like 2 more months of the workshop, month and a half, really. I mean, we're on lessons, we're into the 40s now. So, and it goes up to 65. And, we, each of us is wherever we are. And we're feeling the benefit and the pressure, mostly self-imposed, I would imagine, of like, what am I doing and why am I doing it? Am I getting what I need? Am I keeping up? And so I'd just be curious, like a 1 minute check-in from people, like, how are you feeling at this point in the workshop? And I'll start by saying, I had a month where I have felt like I was just asleep the whole month. I wasn't literally asleep, but my brain was really muzzy. And so I took care of a lot of other things, but I haven't, and I've been checking in regularly with TMS, but I have not progressed beyond lesson 10, and that's the axis one, remember?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
A lot of people. Well, I had a breakthrough. I chant every morning and I write a lot while I'm in that quiet time, that first hour of my day. And some really good writing came out, and I realized some big insights for myself. So while I could look at it and say, you are 1/6 of the way through, and we are 2/3 or more of the way through the workshop, I could be screaming and shouting. I'm not. I'm feeling really pretty excited because of this new insight and moving beyond. Because I'm the kind of person who I can't move on to other lessons if I haven't actually dealt with the one that's in front of me. So that's it for me. That's my check-in. I'm feeling pretty good.
Good.
Do you want to share more about what the actual insight was?
No, I
Okay.
want to hear what other people have to say.
Okay, fair enough. So we got Wendy coming.
I'll say
Okay.
something.
We got Wendy coming in.
Oh yeah, there's Wendy.
Okay.
I'm limping along, but I'm okay with it. Because I've been interleaving learning from the lessons with doing things that need to be done with my photography, and they're both informing each other, so it's okay. And I don't have a problem not going in order, so when I feel like I'm really falling behind, then I'll just sort of jump into what is being offered this particular week, and then if I don't have enough information, I'll go back far enough to find where I needed to pick up before I go forward. I haven't been posting very much to the board. I've been mainly listening to things, making my own notes and everything is sort of fuzzy. I haven't felt like I'm ready to put things out into the world yet, but I am getting something out of it. So it is what it is, and I'm sort of okay with that because it can't be any different. So that's it.
Okay.
I'll go. I feel like I'm chugging along, trying to stay current, because that's what works best for me, is to not get behind for my own mental quirks. But I feel like I kind of swing around between almost getting sidetracked into things that are interesting, or like, oh yeah, I can really push that idea. And then I realized that, I'm kind of moving away from like where my people are and where I want to be. So I always have to keep pulling back. And I know there was this one part where we were talking about pricing and stuff, and and everybody's talking about doubling their prices and all that. And I'm like, I double my prices too, And then you start feeling like, well, you're just kind of getting a big head here. You need to just, like remember where your people's pocketbooks are. I don't, it's like, so it's easy to kind of get on a roll with like what feels like, yeah, that's what we should all be doing that. It's like, wait, we don't have any customers, so. For me, it kind of cycles between feeling really excited and for a little bit there, I felt a little bit bogged down, kind of just over busy, but I'm feeling better now. I got the holidays more under control, and so anyway, it's feeling good for me.
So Wendy, I don't know if you saw the check-in question in the chat. We're just checking in about how we're feeling at this point in the workshop.
Um, yeah, well, I'm glad I caught the last end of Alexi's because I have some of that too. I am okay, it's exciting and thrilling, but I'm talking the talk. I am like writing the right, but I don't know that I'm walking the walk, like I haven't done anything yet. So it's like, yeah, and that feels good, I know it's a process and a step by step. So fake it till you make it, I guess. So I'm, but I'm on track with the prompts. The last one, that referred back to our promise, I didn't even do the promise. That was in the beginning. I was like, I'm just going to dive over some of these. So I did more of a mission statement, which is great. What's not to like about a mission statement?
Right.
And yeah, so my appreciation gets deeper and deeper, I always try to figure out, what's he doing? What's he doing now? Like, what's he corralling us to do so that we can be better at this?
Mhm.
I like to kind of figure out the background stuff. But daunting I don't have a website, I don't have a blog, I don't have anything. I put up a YouTube video that I did 10 years ago. I had a couple of those. I had fun doing that. So that's something I can do, but I need the place for people to land to sign up. So that's where I'm at.
All right.
And so grateful to be here.
Mhm.
Thanks for
Yeah.
opening this today.
You're
And
welcome.
don't forget tonight, 7:00. There's another one. I'll be there.
Wow. Right.
I'm gonna miss you tonight. Kim, your turn to go.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'm hearing a lot to resonate with you all. I've always felt a little funny being in this group since I'm not like an artist, but I am finding a lot to resonate with in what people share. So I think where I am right now is I'm a little bit behind. I'm not in the 40s yet, but I'm not so behind that I'm feeling like scrambly to catch up. And I'm really trying to oh, Terry's coming in now. I'm really trying to approach this with some integrity. Hi, Terry. Glad you
Hi.
could make it. We're checking in, just doing a check-in, 1 minute check-in
Gotcha.
on where we
Okay.
are. But I think what's keeping me in are the discoveries that I'm making along the way. The revelations. I loved the axis exercise. That was really compelling. And I tend to be a visual learner. So anything that can be on a pie chart or a graph, I'm a happy girl. So I also, the status piece was a real revelation for me. And I didn't realize what a quintessential component of my coaching is really to get people to step into a higher status. That was an amazing piece of discovery for me. Also, I am digging in now because of the late 30s prompts to kind of flesh out what could be possible in terms of testimonials. I have a number of testimonials, but I'm thinking I'd really like to start recording them, start getting some video down, and get further into coaching people to do their own videos for marketing. A lot of people shy away from that, where I'm at anyway. And so I think that would be fun. So yeah, I think that's me. Terry, you are next.
Okay. Well, I started back in, as Wendy mentioned, welcome back. And now that and then we got this email from Casey said, people are going to take a break. I don't want to say that word break because I'm going to keep going, right? I gotta jump in. So that's what my goal is. And sorry about that. I had a client come this morning and then I went to Home Depot and then I dropped something and it broke in the parking lot. So I had to go back. I called Kim. She said, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have it on my calendar. It's just, I never looked at it. So I apologize. So I want to do that. I've been like my sewing's all done. I love to hear what you guys are saying because I'm following up. I haven't read as much as I want to, maybe very little. And you guys, and once I get there, I will be responding back to you guys. You're going to get stuff from me that you did a month ago. Oh, well, that's okay. Because as I'm going through the lessons, I'll be reading all your stuff. Yeah.
That's right. That's
Giving
right.
me that, those inspiration. You guys are all inspirational. And I know, Sue, we need to talk, just one-on-one at some point regarding our sewing businesses and so forth. Yeah. And that's it for me. I just, I've been writing, I'm in the juncture of 2 books. So
Yeah.
that's for next year. And I'd like to get those published. So even though I use my business as as my muse, so to speak,
Mhm.
it really crosses over into the book writing and the publishing and everything else. So how you do that. So anyway.
We have portfolio businesses, Terry. That's
Oh,
what
is that what that is?
that's what we have. Portfolio
Oh,
businesses.
okay. I like that. I guess that would you would consider that would be my website then as a portfolio versus
That's right. Same.
specifically one thing. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I like that.
Very good.
So
And
does
Terry, it feels good when you circle back to an older exercise, like for me, when somebody
Yes.
comments back, because it makes me
Yes.
review it and go, oh yeah,
Okay.
that's so
Good to know.
Same.
All right.
yeah, so those are appreciated. So thank
Yeah,
you.
good.
Yep.
All
Yeah,
right.
I found that to be the case too.
I want to respond to Kim's question from earlier. When I did my check-in, I said that I had a shift over the last week around dealing with lesson 10.
Oh, okay.
Kim asked, what happened? What was my insight? And there's 2 things really. One is that a huge amount of the pressure that comes with client work and that needs to be done and volunteer work that needed to be done, time sensitive, as well as just getting over my illness, allowed my brain to open up. But secondly, the big insight was I realized that I did a huge amount of writing for my key project for this, which is building this new web-based business, this online journal, and which I guess is a portfolio business, right?
There you go.
That's right.
Something I've never done before. But what I realized was I've done a huge amount of writing.
Yeah.
And that I need to pull that back up and use it to help me focus laser my brain toward these classes, because really it's already done. It's already
Already
done.
done. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And a lot of
Right.
times, I don't know about you all, but I listen to the video, I read the thing, I listen to the video 5 more times while I'm working. And then I sit down with my word processor and I write my response and I craft my response. And then when it makes sense to me, then I will drag and drop it into the TMS, the Akimbo platform, discourse platform. But I'm also copy and pasting these into my own personal files on my computer so that I have each lesson. I don't have a transcript of the video, but I don't have a link to the video after February or March.
Right.
But what I do have is the written information and my response to it. And occasionally what I'm doing is I'm copy and pasting from you all's responses, and I'm dropping that in, because what I know for myself is that over the year or 2 to come, that's how I can refer back and have
Right.
have this be an ongoing thing. And I'll wrap up by saying that we've talked about the possibility of keeping this going in future, and I have a big prayer that we can do that. Right?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Thank
Because
you for
I'm really
yeah.
huge respect for each of you that I'm looking at on the screen, and a few people who aren't here.
Yes.
So
is it?
thank you. I'm curious, how are other people, if you are, how are you collecting what you've already done? If you are.
I'm trying to print it out, and I wait
Wow.
until the lessons are done so that I have people's comments too.
Yeah.
But I'm doing the class on this iPad, and I can only seem to get it to print off of my laptop. So I have to email them across, and sometimes it prints like really easily, and other times I can't figure out how I did it. And
Yeah.
this last time I printed it, it all printed in reverse order. It's like,
Okay.
so it's
Somebody gave us,
it's
somebody
not as
gave us
organized.
the,
Yeah, not
the,
as
you know,
organized as
the
I'd
how
like.
to. You can go to, when you're on your Akimbo, but I haven't done it, so I don't know. But there is a how-to, download that with all the comments. And you know, I think the expectation is people do that at the end, but I want to kind of do it in the middle, because I don't trust that I'm going to remember, or that it's going to be, you know, something doesn't blow up or whatever. And I'd like to just kind of get the first half even, you know, because it's so juicy. But yeah.
So is that the show me my work button, or see my work, or is that the button?
I think so, but I can't remember.
Wow, I didn't even know there was that button.
If you ask the coaches, or you make that question, you know, they'll lead you to it.
So I always think Casey.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she's great.
That's who will know, I think. But I just want to I want to do a footnote to Alex's, what she said. I shouldn't say, I try to write everything in on Evernote. So I copy and paste everything that said, all is in the lesson. It's in my Evernote. Then I do my response. Then I cut and paste that, put it in Discourse. And because my Grammarly does not work in my Evernote, it does work in Discourse. So it pretties it up, you know, if I have some misspell or whatever. And then because the other one's highlighted, all I have to do is cut and paste it right back into, so everything is right there for me. And then whatever goes with the Discourse. Now, and then I may have to go back if people comment and then cut and paste that and stick it in my Evernote. But then I have everything, like you guys were saying earlier about the comments, because they're really good. And we need that maybe for our testimonials going forward. Or there's some people write so nice sometimes it just says like, oh, that's what I was trying to articulate, but somebody else said it.
Right.
And we can use that.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, like everybody else, I'm using an app to cut and paste. So I'll cut a lot. I mean, I'll cut a lot of what is actually printed from the from the prompt into my notes, and then I'll think about things and write it down. But sometimes I'm not that organized, and then I write it on a piece of paper, and then I have to transcribe it in there, or worse yet, I just put it in a folder and say, okay, I'm going to transcribe it in there when I get around to it. So
Right.
I try to be organized, but not always.
Right.
Totally understand.
Yep, definitely.
Sounds like we're all really analog gals.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, I never read this stuff again, but there's something that helps my brain to hear it or learn it when I go through those steps. So I just do it. I am a note taker who never reads the notes.
But it's, you know what, it's that brain, you're remembering everything because you're writing things down. And when you write it and you're looking at it, that's the beauty of that.
Yeah.
I wish that were true. I can't always say that's true for me anyway. But if I know where I can access it, I mean, I'll get a general grasp. I'll retain a general grasp. But if I need details, then I need something that I can refer back to.
Well, that's just a difference in brain function. I mean, Wendy and I apparently have very similar brain functions. I'm constantly writing.
Right.
Analog writing. And I don't look at them either, but it does help to lodge it in my brain.
Yeah.
Well, when I was in the creatives workshop, I kept a whole analog book of all my things. And then later on, when I had more time at the end, then I cut and pasted and put it in notes. And then I downloaded the whole thing, but I've never looked at it since. So all that effort, but I felt like I learned a tremendous amount from the creatives workshop, but I feel good that I have it there if I ever want to go back, but I have not had the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and it doesn't count to type it for me. It's gotta
be. It's not the same at all. Yep. Because your body is not as engaged.
Right. Yeah. And it's an attention mechanism too. I pay attention better. Otherwise I just kind of drift off to
Definitely.
So we're, yeah, well, that's the hallmark of creative. So here we are.
Question for you. Is this a 40-minute meeting or do you have an account with Zoom?
I have an account with Zoom. I may have to check off
Okay,
at
so it's
about quarter till, but
9:25, so we've
Yeah.
got 20 minutes left, just under.
Right.
Yeah.
so if
I-
if people want to keep going, I'm happy to assign a co-host and then you can take it from there.
Well, I'd be curious to ask another question if
Yeah,
people are
please.
okay with that. Whatever these next 2 weeks are for any, each of us, their society has put this big box around these 2 weeks.
Bless you.
My question is, where do you think you're going to put your time and energy, or what is it that you want to? How do you want to guide your own path for the next week or so?
Well, scheduling. Just like handwriting, scheduling works for me, not because I pay attention to the schedule, but because it anchors the information in my head. And I love making schedules. So I will be making some schedules. I'll be making some schedules because I got to get, off the stick here and busy. I got to get a website down. I got to get somebody to help me with that. I got to get, Substack, or what's the other one? Medium. I just got to, I got to do that. What do you use? Anybody here using either Substack or Medium, or you got something else that's?
I have my own blog under my website.
Yeah. Okay.
Same.
And
You own those words. Substack owns your words. Facebook, Mark owns your words.
Right.
Medium, somebody else owns your words. Under your own name, Wendy Code, you own your words. Always remember that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, I'm just saying,
yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen with Meta and everything.
Right.
What about websites? Does anybody have a what about websites like Shopify, or what's the other one?
I use GoDaddy.
Oh,
You use GoDaddy?
Mhm.
How is that? I have GoDaddy.
I have GoDaddy.
I've
That's
had
good.
I've had bad experiences with GoDaddy myself, but
Yeah, I
I
have
know
too,
other
so that's a
people
little bit-
haven't. So
But I have Wix. I use Wix as my hosting and
Oh,
everything.
that's what I'm talking about. Shopify is it's a platform. Wix is a
Oh.
platform. GoDaddy's a host, and it has.
I don't use it just for my website. I just bought it through the website, but that's it.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. My sites are off of a template. Well, I've got 2 different sites with them, off of a template with them, and I wish I could customize it a little bit more, but on the other hand, I don't want to spend a lot of time on the web anyway. So they've kind of laid things out in a way that's optimal visually or whatever, and
Right.
so
Your site looks nice.
I just
would not
thank you.
do anything.
I just
I had
drag
a
and drop, and
Yeah. Did you set it up yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a WordPress, but it got cannibalized by some spammer, and I couldn't undo it. So
WordPress is a big learning curve.
yeah, it is.
Or
Yeah.
you hire somebody once
Yeah.
a month or once every other month to take care of your business.
Right.
Yeah, I tried
like it.
WordPress. It was too complicated.
Yep, same with me. So that's why I went to Wix. Plug and play.
Right.
My daughter who does some web design and does marketing has really recommended Wix. I've been using the Adobe Portfolio, which is designed for visual artists.
Yeah.
But you can do a lot, but it's still very oriented toward, I mean, like I could add a blog to it, make a link to it.
Yep.
But it is very much oriented to visual things. And so I'm not quite happy the way I have it set up. I keep saying, well, it's sort of preliminary right now, but I may give Wix a try and see what I can do with that.
I just want to go back real quick. The 27th, I might be en route, or I'm digging out of a blizzard in Cleveland, Ohio. So, one of the two. So I probably won't be here on the 27th, just to FYI you. So I don't know,
Right.
Kimberly, are you going to be around? If
I
not,
won't be either.
does
Should I
anybody
just
else
do
want to take
Wendy
over?
that night?
I'm doing that night, so we could move it till 7 o'clock. But if we like this time, I can do it. I just don't have a Zoom I was wondering if I could just, just kind of take over Akimbo, I mean,
I asked
ask
about
her
that
for
in
a
the
room?
very beginning. I asked for a Zoom room and they did not give it to us.
no,
Oh,
not
I thought you meant
asking
that.
for one.
Oh.
Just everybody just show up on that link. Just show up on the
Oh,
link. I think it's kind of open all the time,
it
actually.
probably is.
I mean,
You'd have
I
to
could do
test
it
it out.
again unless somebody else has it. So, yeah, if on the 27th at this time, if we want to show up on the Akimbo link, which is
Whatever you do though, if
you
you're in
wanna-
the thread or you're
Go
doing a
ahead and-
message, just tag koala at koala, then we all get
Yeah,
it. If
that's
you
Yeah.
don't tag us, we don't get it.
okay,
Yeah.
And you don't have to do individual names because we're all under that one umbrella, koala
Right.
umbrella.
right.
Okay.
Okay.
So, if it doesn't work, then I'm not gonna, get Zoom figured out over
Okay.
the holidays.
Yeah,
Okay.
you don't have to.
Yeah,
No.
that one doesn't need to be on your plate. Yep.
So I have a question for you, Terry,
Yes.
because you have a blog.
Yes.
So I've been writing this newsletter that I send out every week for a long time. So I have a lot of past newsletters now, and I was thinking, well, I wonder if I should start a blog and just like repost those old ones starting from way back into the
Yep.
blog, because I
You
don't want
can.
to repeat to my
Right.
the people that have gotten the newsletter. So what's the difference between a newsletter and a blog? Do you get
What do you,
followers?
how do you do your newsletter? Is it through your website?
I do it through MailChimp.
Ah,
Right.
So I know that GoDaddy, I can have a blog on GoDaddy. I mean, I could just paste them into a blog. But
well, the thing is you could have a whole new audience depending on your hashtags. If you correctly, and however you're going to post it on social media, as long as you have those great hashtags, then you could have a whole new audience.
okay,
Yeah,
so that might be worth doing.
it might be worth doing. Why not? And people, heck, I mean, I see somebody's quilt from, years ago, and the girls in my guild and my bee, and I'm like, they'll show a quilt, and I'm like, well, did I ever see that? Yeah, I showed it like 5 years ago. Oh, I never forgot. People are not going to remember your stuff. So if you read, and you might want to just add something like, hey,
Right.
I wrote this, 3 or
Update
4
it.
years ago, but I have a new angle on something, and boom,
Uh-huh.
post it.
Right.
You're
Right.
you'd be surprised. You'll be fine. I
People
guarantee it.
I've recycled my stories. I recycled
Yeah.
some videos.
People do it
not
all the
only-
time.
Yeah,
do it all the
and not
time.
only that, if you have a blog and you're doing it over a year or two, you just start at the beginning and just start them again, because nobody's paying attention, that level of attention. Maybe
Exactly.
one-
No, but you think
Did I
they are, but
read
they're
that?
not.
Well, maybe you did. Oh, fresh material
Yeah.
coming next week.
Well,
Like it's
Right.
just so
Yeah, I
human.
mean, I know that I have people on my list now that weren't there 2 years ago.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
never
Right.
saw the beginning ones.
That's
On the
right.
other hand, there's a blog that I follow called Red Dot Blog. And that guy just seems to recycle the same 30 or so posts. And, it comes
Yeah.
around and I feel like I already read this, and click
Yep.
delete. I already read this, delete. So, that's kind
Yeah.
of, that makes me want to unsubscribe. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I'm almost a daily blogger. The first year I did it in 2012, I blogged every single day. I challenged myself for 365 days and I did it. There were a couple
Wow.
times at a wedding, I was like 11:55 p.m. and I'm just trying to get on my phone before, getting into the car. But
you can make it a-
mostly, go ahead.
I mean, you can make it a thing. You can put from the archives, so you're not like, slipping it
Yes.
in,
Right.
Yes.
from the archives, back
Yep.
by
Yeah.
popular demand,
Yes.
it is reasonable.
Well,
Absolutely.
even Seth does that with his.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
And he makes reference to that all the time. I think it's a really common practice, Alex.
I do too. I think you'll be
maybe-
fine. Alexis, you'll be probably really thrilled what you get from it. You never know.
Besides
Okay,
it,
well, maybe the thing to do is to, oh, go ahead, sorry.
it's also a way to deepen your experience. It's like I think we all learn in spirals.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's like we circle
Absolutely.
back to something that we've been thinking about for a while. We may have written about it 5 years ago, but now we have a very different perspective.
Mhm.
So you can
Mhm.
you can amplify and you can give dimension to
Mhm.
what you wrote previously.
Oh, that's
Well
interesting.
said.
Beautiful. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes just from that, from Kim.
Oh, are you, are we videoing? No.
Yes, we
Yes.
are.
Yes,
Oh,
recording.
yeah, that's right. So, one time I was at a loss for what to write. So I Googled, 100 art articles or 100 holistic health articles. I can't remember which arena I was in. And I got, there's lists and lists and lists and lists. And I just cut and paste the list. And then I just kind of took out a few that didn't interest me, but I had a list to chew on, and I could just go down and cross it out. And I didn't really have to reinvent the wheel because everybody has something to say about something in your field. I mean, you have something to say about everything in your field. So, you can, if I'm stuck or something like that, I would just go back to that list and go, oh yeah, here's one. This would be good. And that helped.
How do people
That's a good
do
idea.
people keep track of their blog topics or stuff they think they might want to write about? Anybody do
I
that?
do.
Yeah.
I keep a list of what I just call, story ideas.
Mhm.
I like this reminder app on the iPhone.
Mhm.
And I have a list for blog topics. It's really easy to use, and as I go through them, I hide them from myself. But I keep adding to it, and it's quick and dirty. So I can even do it in the car if I'm thinking of something.
Wow. That's
So-
Every once in a while, I get ambitious and I sit down with the calendar too, and then I make notes, because for me, some stuff is
yeah.
seasonal. So it's like, okay, Mother's Day's in 2 weeks, so a week before that, I should do a blog about my mom, or
Right,
Christmas is
right.
coming, so 3 weeks back, I want to start reminding people to shop, or whatever. So,
Mhm.
but then I lose track of that and I don't do it, and I just start writing about things that are timely the week that I'm writing the story, and then I realize, oh, I never did make that post I wanted. So.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
There it is. There it is. Yep.
That's it.
The analog notebook.
I customize the covers so that
Woo!
There you go.
I know
Nice.
I
what's
love
in
that.
there. And then basically, like I said, the first hour of my day is when I'm kind of sitting, focusing in meditation and chanting. And I do a lot of, well, you can't see it, but there are times when I'll write 3 or 4 pages. That's my whole post.
Wow.
And then I use
Yeah.
the journal method where if you don't know Bujo, B-U-J-O, it's a website, it's a lifestyle. But the concept is that you number every page in your analog book. And then in the first couple of pages or the last few pages, you write line by line the page number and whatever your topic is on there. Now,
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
digital, I'd be able to easily,
Yeah.
punch it in, but I'm not a digital kind of brain. I have an analog brain. So it has worked really well for me for a long time.
I think
And
it's beautiful.
anyway, just
I buy them and I never fill them.
Well, maybe it's time.
I've got shelves full. And I go through every few months or 6 months or so, I go through and I cross out the pages that I've either handled already or I put them somewhere. It's like, but if there's still
It's
pages,
a legacy.
if there are pages of things that are
Okay.
useful for going forward, then I'll write in my calendar book, journal number, whatever. We're getting short on time.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how I do it.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful. I love this
Yeah.
sharing. I love how we share with each
Yeah.
other. We make each
Mhm.
other better.
I do too.
We give each other
Yeah.
strategies. We give each other inspiration to go out in the world and accomplish what our goals are. And so this
Yeah.
is really a powerful group. So yes,
Yeah.
we need to keep
Yeah.
this going.
Yeah,
Has
I call us the
anybody
goddesses, the art goddesses,
Yeah, there you go.
creative goddesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
does anybody use the best self journal? Do you know what that is?
I haven't.
All right. Well, let me go grab mine because I have used this for the better part of 4 years.
Okay.
And
And then
like
maybe
I
put in the chat, or should
yeah,
I look
yeah,
it up?
yeah. I'll put the link in the chat, but it's a way of clearly defining not more than 3 priorities over a
Okay.
13-week cycle, which is
Okay.
really good for me because I'm like squirrel And, you know, it's just the next new shiny whistle. I'm
Yeah.
chasing after it. So I have found that this has been really, really helpful. And I
Grab
will.
it. Let's see what it looks like, and then what you
And
call
I think
it?
they've got the best self journal. I think they've got it on sale now. There's
Even better.
there's a calendar section. There's a couple different kinds of calendars. You can start it at any time. You can format it any way you like. You can skip weekends if you want to. It's really customizable. And I've actually made covers for mine too, because it comes in kind of a plain navy blah cover. It's like big whoop. I need to be inspired visually to do this every day. And now that I'm in the habit, I can't speak highly of it enough.
So it's a written journal, it's not digital, it's written.
It's written.
Mhm.
I think they tried doing it. They might have an online version, but yeah, I'm an analog girl too at heart. So I'm gonna.
I think if this is it, you get free shipping at 35. Best Self, is that the name of the
That's
company?
it. The best self.
The
Self
best-
journey journal. I'm sorry, self journal journey.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat
Yeah. Okay.
for y'all.
This is good.
Yeah. Okay.
Because and there's a space for daily gratitudes, which I
Yeah,
really
nice.
like.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can put in your your bucket list items for your bucket list, which is nice. You can give yourself points if that's in your bailiwick.
And then we get $10 at the end of the week.
Give yourself $10 for an art date or something.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Oh, we give ourselves an
this-
allowance.
I was gonna say
Allowance.
from some bars of chocolate. That's
Yeah, there you go.
That was
That too.
Amen. Whatever floats your boat.
All
Okay.
right, so
It's
okay,
in the
good.
chat now. It's in the
Yeah.
chat.
Let's see it. I want to check and make sure that I'm in the same one. Oh yeah. Okay. Very nice. Thank you, Kimberly. This is good.
Yeah.
All right. Wow.
So
Yeah, it's a whole
okay.
flower. This is great. Yeah.
Kind of like the Ben Franklin things, or what was really popular back in the 80s, early 80s. There was another one that was very similar.
Ilofax.
oh, really? Oh, interesting. Well,
Trying to
they
think.
kind of subdivided and multiplied everywhere for a
Yes,
while.
and then when the
Used to be
internet became
thing.
so prolific and people were doing online calendars, everything else, this
Moved
kind of
on
went. But I
there.
think it's coming back. I think people are realizing how important it is for that handwritten stuff.
Yeah.
Give it to second and third graders. They're taking away cursive, right? So give it to them. Let
Yeah.
them
Give it to them.
Yeah.
give it to them.
Yeah.
What
right.
I did something similar. I was Mel Robbins had
Oh, yes.
sort of the best year ever, which happened to be right after the pandemic started.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
But anyway, I had saved her templates and then printed them off. And for about a whole year, I wrote, they had a place for your 3 priorities of the day and
Right.
and then a bucket list on the side that you could keep going. And then some questions that you, sort of a mantra that you chose yourself, but you put in there. And it did help me get organized and not be squirrelish, because I tend to be squirrelish too. So,
Well, the thing is, I think it was at the morning pages, that gal, a lot of people
Yes.
do that. Those
Yeah.
Julia
days with,
Cameron.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I was
right.
big
Julie
into
Cameron.
that. Big into
And then,
that. for a while.
James Clear, I think he's the one with 3 priorities. There's a couple of the stoic, like a Ryan Holiday kind of guys and gals out there that do that 3 priorities. Bill says, put your 1 priority. What are you doing today? I was Home Depot, for crying out loud, and then I forget this.
That's right. That's right.
But I'm back, heading out again. I have a couple more things I got to get, but then I'm good. So, Kimberly, thank you for covering
Thank
today.
you.
Sure. No
You
problem.
guys have something on the 27th ready to go with Wendy?
Yeah, so I launched. I put the
You're
link.
there?
I mean, it's the same link that the 7 p.m. one that I use. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
it'll work or it won't work. If we show up and nobody can get in, but I think it's open. So Cause I show up a lot and nobody else is there.
And there's something going on at 7 tonight?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
on
Wendy's
Tuesday,
doing
7 PM.
What
And
is
it's
it?
a group like this, but we're kind of more dedicated to the what is it? The tasks,
Lessons?
prompt.
no, no.
Prompts?
It's like let's do the work.
Oh, okay.
As
So it's a
opposed to-
working session.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do
Gotcha.
talk about it, but it's like, okay, so getting down to the nuts and bolts, like I'm doing this and I do it this way, and how do you do it? And are you doing it that way? And can you help me with this? And is there anybody else? And
Ooh.
is there a resource? And do you have any website, links? And
Is
it's
that
kind of like,
it? That's every
but-
Tuesday?
yes,
Okay.
it's the huddle.
Yeah,
The
it's a huddle. She's been
coaches-
taking over the
coaches
huddle.
Gave up the huddles and
Yeah.
gave them to the
Students. Yeah.
And so
Okay.
there's a sign up list, and the huddles are Tuesday at 7 and Thursday
Eastern.
Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. And because I just want to have them just like this, and Terry's taken over this, and Kimberly too. I'm just going to show up. So
Okay.
I just
I might
open
come
it
out
up.
at 7 o'clock today.
Yeah.
I think I'll be back. All right.
Yeah,
This is
it's really
good.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Take
Yeah.
care, everybody.
same thing, only the same
Okay.
as good.
All right.
Okay,
See you
Let's-
later.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks
Happy
for hosting,
holidays.
Kimberly. All right. Bye
Bye.
now.